Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the registration webinar for the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, also known as RAMP. My name is Grace Caprile, and on behalf of the Office of Procurement, we are pleased that you could join us today for this informative presentation. Today's webinar will include an overview of the RAMP's registration process, including some commonly asked questions regarding registration, certifications, and opportunities. RAMP offers a vast number of contracting opportunities with the City of Los Angeles, as well as with other regional partners who use the platform to post opportunities. Please know that this presentation is being recorded and you will receive a copy of the recording, the slide deck, and the chat history. We also kindly ask that you mute yourselves in order to clearly hear today's presentation. If you have any questions or comments during the presentation, feel free to drop them via the chat function where we will have staff available to answer your questions there in real time. However, if time permits, at the end of our presentation, we may take a few questions from the chat and answer them verbally before this session ends at noon. We hold these webinars on a monthly basis, and we would like to know how many new folks have joined us this month. As such, we have a short survey that we ask you to respond to for our own information. We would like to know if you've ever attended one of our RAMP webinar presentations in the past. Please take a moment to respond. Okay, Jessica, can you give us results of show us the results of the poll, please? Well, it's good to see how many new and returning attendees we have joining us today for today's webinar. Thank you for participating. Leah serves as a Deputy City Procurement Officer for the City of Los Angeles Office of Procurement. This office is not a team of buyers, but is responsible for reviewing and recommending changes to procurement policies, providing citywide training, and developing technologies to streamline and simplify the city's procurement process. Welcome, Leah.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm hoping that in the next hour that we spend together, that we could share something valuable with you, not just to learn about RAMP, how to register and use our system, some tips and tricks, but hopefully you take the next step in finding an opportunity on RAMP to take your business to the next level. So jumping into our training, our presentation. So what does RAMP stand for? So RAMP stands for the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. It's hosted by the city. It's totally free. But if you're interested in doing business with the city, this is the place to be because all our city departments are required to post any procurement solicitations on this platform. The city spends over $4.5 billion in annual spend. And so imagine that this is where we need to post all of this, all of these opportunities. And if you take into consideration the regional partners that who are also posting on RAMP, there's almost about $10 billion worth of procurement on here. So there's a lot of opportunities. We continue to welcome other partners to also join. But on top of just finding procurement opportunities, now we're also looking at adding functionalities onto our platform. Things like e-bidding will become something that's a system functionality that you can use, provided that the city department turns on that functionality. There's going to be links that will be available on RAMP to show you further demonstrations and walkthroughs around starting January 9th and on. You'll see information on how to join and see step-by-steps on how to use those other functionalities, and all those instructions will be on RAMP. Just a heads up too, that the platform will be shut down between December 9th of this year to January 7th of next year because we're trying to push to the all these changes onto our live production site. So what that means is that during that period, you won't be able to have, when you click on Ramp, you won't see any of these opportunities. And certainly if you're already currently, if you're looking to be a vendor with Ramp, with the city, you might want to already upload some of the certifications that we talk about, certification applications, compliance documentation, and these are things that you'd want to do before December 9th. So on, so, okay, and can we have the next slide to this? Because there's more than just the city that works on this. So if we have, sorry. Here's just a sample for all our regional partners. As you can see on the top here, there's LA 28. And so they've committed to using Ramp to distribute any of their advertising for their procurement opportunities. So as an example, if you look on Ramp today, you'll find an opportunity that was posted by LA 28 for low voltage cabling suppliers. So that's just an example, and they've committed to use this platform for any future opportunities that will come out. So in addition, we're also looking at LA County's procurement solicitation to also already, and it's already been included on here. So that's also one of the biggest, newest regional partner that's been added to Ramp. In terms of our goals and objectives, why are we doing this, right? It's really mainly because small businesses are the backbone of the American economy, and that's true for the city as well. And that's why we're looking to encourage and find ways that we can help you participate in our procurement process. How can Ramp help small businesses? Well, I think one of the things that we all struggle with is time, right? There's never enough time to do everything that we need to do. And so Ramp can help you save you some time because we're trying to basically get all these larger public organizations around our area to also post on Ramp. So that way you don't have to keep on looking at all these different places. So think of it also as free advertising. Private regional partners don't quite use Ramp to post their opportunities the same way LA 28 does, but we've been told that they use it to identify businesses, diverse businesses, to help them meet those internal corporate goals. Contractors who bid on city procurements are also required to use Ramp to do their outreach. So if you're looking to be a subcontractor, this is a place to be as well, because basically any large procurement opportunities in the city that requires a business inclusion program, they have to use this platform to do their outreach. On the next slide, we're gonna talk about like how to use Ramp. Obviously, we want you to register so that you can receive email notifications. So this is one way for you to not have to look at the system, is that if you register and you pick the appropriate NAICS codes, you can get automatically not notified if something of interest to you is posted on the platform. But everybody has access to the opportunities. If you want to go in and just manually search on your own, you can certainly do that without having to register. But another benefits to registering though is that you can get our bi-weekly email blast. And this newsletter highlights some events or trainings that are coming through. So another way that you would use Ramp is you would submit certification applications for free. The city provides a preference for businesses who are located within the county, or and additional preference for those who are within the city, but you have to be certified. So submit those applications on Ramp. And then lastly, one thing that people kind of don't think of Ramp as is it's a way for you to conduct research. Many times people ask us, well, what does the city buy, right? So this is the platform where you can do that research. You can find out who in which city department buys what, who are the contract administrators. So that's really important because the city is very decentralized. Our office doesn't quite, we don't procure for the city, but we help a lot with the policies and the procedures. And so it's important for you to get to know the contract administrators within all the city departments. And RAMP can help you know who they are. And lastly, one other information that you can use and you can gather from RAMP is you can find out who was previously awarded the contract that you're working on. Many times the city's contracts go out to bid every 3 or 5 years. And so RAMP can give you that information. You'll get to know who are your competitors and how much they were awarded for these contracts. That way it gives you a sense of whether is the city the right place that you'd want to work with or not. So and then on the next slide, just wanted to encourage you guys to please be patient. Um, we we have a handful of small business webinars that are meant for first-time buyers that bidders at the end of these slides. So that's available for you. So be patient because there's just a lot to learn. Don't give up. Uh, so we've been told it takes quite some time to get familiar with our processes. So try and try again. Attend our pre-bid meetings. It's a way for you to get to know not just the other prime contractors, but also the contractor administrators themselves. It's important to note too that contract administrators are limited to what they can share with you while we're in the middle of a competitive bidding process. So even if an opportunity had already lapsed, I'd highly encourage that you try and reach out to them after that process if you want to learn more, because we will continue to go out to bid every in a specific cycle, right? So you want to get to be ready the next time we go out to bid. And lastly, we're here to help. Contact us if you have any questions or you'd want to give us any suggestions. My email is leah.chu, like you can see underneath my screen, my name. So if you're going to email me, you would say leah.chu and then just end it with @lacity.org. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to hand the meeting, let me hand the meeting back to Grace.
Thank you, Leah, for that great overview of the benefits of RAMP. Now we would like to share a testimonial video for one of our vendors on RAMP.
Hello, my name's Anita Ron, and I'm the proud owner of Brightworks Inc. Brightworks Inc. is a commercial janitorial service located in Covina, California. Our philosophy is to take care of our employees, and they definitely will take care of our clients, providing the best cleaning solutions out there when it comes to just the regular general cleaning, carpet cleaning, floor care services, disinfecting. We started out with 3 vacuum cleaners and $700 and a lot of ganas. Many people would say that I was crazy when I started the business, but I'm proud to say that been in business now for 25 years. We're employing about 160 employees. It has been an adventure, and really have rolled up my sleeves and gotten in there trying to figure out how to grow the business and how to create jobs. I think we've made a difference within our communities. So one of the things I did do is getting involved and getting certified as a minority women-owned business. And by having that certification and really getting involved and using some of the things and tools that they offer to their suppliers and members has helped our organization get business, get contracts. I think RAMP is going to really help us out when we're trying to grow our organization and really make a difference in creating jobs. I think that's the biggest thing with this program. It helps create jobs within the communities that serve the city of Los Angeles. RAMP is just a program that actually puts the whole procurement opportunities on steroids. And that's the great thing, because that helps the small businesses when they're putting so much time and effort into the services that they're providing. I get a lot of calls from small business saying, hey, Anita, I'd like to know how you grew your business or how did you do it? The magic sauce is really actually rolling up your sleeves and getting involved and really providing the quality service or the product that you're delivering. And these are just tools that you can use in order to master what you're trying to do and accomplish, grow your organization. So get involved, make an impact, register on ramp, because those are the things that are going to help you, and that's what Help Bright works. We are certified, we're a women minority business, and that has given us the best opportunities in order to be able to bid on some of these projects that we have right now. For all you small businesses that are out there that are struggling and trying to figure out what is going to give them value, I encourage you to register on rampla.org. So right now, get on that computer and sign up.
That was a great testimonial from Anita Ron on the benefits of RAMP, and we are glad that it has served her as well as an important resource for her business. Now for an overview of the RAMP registration process. The first step is to click on the Login/Register green colored button on the top right-hand corner to begin the registration process. After doing so, you'll be taken to the Angelino account landing page. Please sign up by clicking the Sign Up button besides the Don't Have an Account Yet text. The registration process can be done rather quickly, taking about 15 minutes to complete. Next, please enter your email. Make sure that your password includes uppercase, lowercase, at least one number, and special characters. For your phone number, it is recommended that you list your cell phone number for authentication purposes should you enable that. Lastly, be sure to check I am not a robot, then click on the blue register button. The system will indicate that a verification email has been sent to you, so proceed to check your email for verification from Angelino. If you do not receive an email, please check your spam folder or make sure that you type the correct email address. You should receive a Welcome to Angelino email. Angelino is a city's single sign-on system which allows users to log into several city websites and application with a single login credential. An Angelino account is required in order to register and log into RAMP. Activate your account by clicking on the green link within the email. Fill out the noted fields. For sole proprietorship, your name is a company's name, not the DBA. Do not put a DBA as your company's name. Sole proprietorships will not be required to add a tax ID. As noted on the slide, filling out your company's information will also enable you to determine whether your company is already registered in RAMP. This is important in order to avoid establishing duplicate accounts. Your title must be typed in where indicated. For sole proprietorship, enter the owner's name. Complete all these sections and only enter a registered DBA. DBAs are registered with the county where your business is located. You may add a logo if you have one. In the summary section, that is your opportunity to clearly describe what your company does. The space allows a maximum of 200 characters, not including spaces, so be concise. For the business address section, do not use a PO box. Use a physical address. Otherwise, the system will reject your entry. Please note that your phone number requires dashes. Please also enter an email address for your business. If you have a business tax registration certificate or BTRC, please enter that number. Otherwise, contact the city's Office of Finance to apply for one. Your BTRC only applies if your business is located within the city of LA or if you're interested in doing business with the city of LA. While it does not contain an asterisk indicating a required field to be filled out, please indicate whether your company is for-profit or a non-profit business. The most important step is to register as, where it is encouraged that the prime/sub designation is selected. By selecting this option, versus selecting only Prime or only Sub, you will increase the number of notifications you may receive regarding all opportunities related to your business type. Please note that these designations refer to all types of vendors, not to be confused with only those in the construction field. The North American Industry Classification System, or NICS codes, can be found on your taxes on the header under Box B, or you can find the codes at the U.S. Census website at the address noted on the slide. These codes are not related to your business industry and are 6 digits long. By completing this section, you will be notified of contracting opportunities that relate to your business industry. Please refer to your company's NICS codes to make sure the codes listed under your company's profile are relevant to your company's type of work. Keep in mind that only your company's administrator can change your company's NICS codes. Additional guidance can be found on the support page under the user manual section on how to update your company's NICS codes. At this stage, you may complete the demographics that relate to you as a business owner. The other identifying info drop-down space is for identifying male, female, or other. Number of employees is optional if under 20. For annual revenue, this information is optional to provide. For the work history section, it is your opportunity to talk about your work experience. You may wish to use any information from your LinkedIn account if you have one. This slide lists the various certifications that you may have applied for and serve as a space for verification of your current certifications with recognized agencies. You may skip the certification step if it doesn't apply to you. Otherwise, if certifications were completed by any of the other entities, as noted on the left side of the slide, know that you are recognized by the City of Los Angeles as well. If you skip this section initially, know that you may return to it later if and when you have certifications to list. You are now at the end of your registration process, where you can review your profile and your business information. Please take time to review it carefully, especially the administrative details, company name, and tax ID, as these fields can only be changed by RAMP support. After reviewing the information, scroll all the way to the bottom and click on the green Submit button. You are officially registered in RAMP, where you see the Thank you for registering message. As stated on all vendor profiles, the City of Los Angeles does not endorse, takes no responsibility for, nor exercises control over the information by the linked organizations. The City of Los Angeles is also not responsible for its view, content, nor does it vouch for the accuracy or accessibility of the information. The City of Los Angeles also cannot authorize the use of copyrighted materials containing linked websites. Users must request such information and authorization from the sponsor or owner of the linked website. Now for a review of some RAMP resources. To access these resources, please click on Support at the top right-hand corner next to the Login/Register button, where you will locate frequently asked questions regarding registration, your RAMP profile, certifications, and other helpful information. You may also wish to refer to the set of frequently asked questions that were included in the initial email regarding your RAMP webinar registration. You can also access user manuals for submitting your company's compliance documents for understanding the Business Inclusion Program, BIP, outreach processes, as well as how to add NICS codes and licenses to your profile. We highly recommend you take the time to review these resources before submitting a SNOW ticket requesting technical assistance, as they may provide the information you are seeking. Now, we would like to cover some frequently asked account-related questions. After you've registered, you may have some additional account questions. For example, how do I update my business profile? We recommend that you refer to the Account Management Manual for guidance on how to manage users pending or adding and how to update your account. Please know that only the administrator can edit the Business Inclusion Program BIP roles/access for other users. Deactivate inactive users, add users, request certification verification, and submit compliance documents. You cannot delete users, you can only deactivate them. This is to prevent them from creating a new account. All users must have an Angelino sign-in account and must have been added to your account during the registration process. See page 7, section 3A of the Registering on Ramp New Registration Manual for more information. Another account-related question may be, how do I change company name and tax IDs? The company name and tax IDs are two fields the account administrator cannot change. In order to do so, please send a request by submitting a ticket on the RAMP web form using the link shown on the slide, and attach official documentation such as California Secretary of State filing, business tax registration certificate, BTRC, or tax account document supporting these changes. One last account-related question we often receive is, how do I change the company's account administrator? If the current administrator is no longer with the company and or unable to request the administrator's change, we ask that you send a request by submitting a ticket to the RAMP form using the link shown on the slide. Please know that if a group email is chosen as administrator's email, those who have access to the email will also have access to edit the RAMP account and make any changes to the account, such as changes to the company's profile, user management settings, and access the business inclusion. These are the risks that come with using a shared email account. We recommend using an individual's email account as the admin for accountability. Now we will cover some certification-related questions. One common question about certification is, what are the qualifications to be recognized as a certified company? The certification FAQs can provide guidance on the qualifications for the certifications listed on the slide. Some of the certifications recognized include Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, DBE, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, DVBE, and DVBE LAWA, Minority-Owned Business Enterprise, MBE, and Women-Owned Business Enterprise, WBE. Another common certification question is, how do I apply to be a certified company recognized by the City of Los Angeles? The Office of Contract Compliance, OCC, Certification Outreach Regulations and Enforcement, CORE, is responsible for administering the city's certification program and verifies certifications. You may visit the OCC website for more information. Currently, only the following certifications can be applied for through RAMP: Local Business Preference Program, LBPP certifications, Local Business Enterprise, LBE, Local Small Business, LSB, Local Transitional Employer, LTE, Local State Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, DVBE, LAWA, used only by Los Angeles World Airports, Local Business Enterprise, LBE, Harbor, used only by Harbor Port of LA. Certifications on RAMP user manual can provide guidance on how to request verification/recognition of current certifications and how to apply for the noted certifications on RAMP. Please note that when applying for any certification, the legal name of your company should be used. Another common question is, my company is already certified. How do I request to be recognized as such on RAMP? Please download the certification RAMP user manual, which outlines a process for how to request verification of your current certification to be listed on RAMP. Remember that you must have already be a certified company in order to be verified as such on RAMP. Now for some questions about opportunities. To be clear, when we speak about an opportunity or opportunities, we are referring to contracting opportunities with either the city or any of our regional partners who use RAMP to advertise their needs for particular contractors. Some common opportunity-related questions include, how can I view or download the documents listed with an opportunity? You must be a registered RAMP user and logged into RAMP to download and view the documents listed under an opportunity. Note that the only difference between a user logged in and not logged in is the ability to download documents and files. How can I be notified when an opportunity is posted online? Registered and active users on RAMP will receive notifications when an opportunity matches the NICS codes in your company's profile. Another opportunity-related question includes, how do I get more information on a specific opportunity? If you have a question about an opportunity, please contact the department contact listed for that opportunity who can answer questions regarding that specific opportunity. This slide and the following 3 slides will show how to navigate through an opportunity to help you find the opportunity contact person. On your account, go to Search for Opportunities. Fill in the information on the filters on the left side to customize the opportunity search. Then click on any opportunity you are interested in, such as Innovative Partnership, as shown by the red arrows. This slide shows the opportunity details, which include the contact person. If you're interested in bidding for this on that opportunity, you may click Add to Bookmarks button to save the opportunity for future reference. Once you go back to your account, you may click Bookmarks on the left side under the company details list of items in order to access any bookmarked opportunities. The Opportunity Innovative Partnership will be saved to your account profile. Now for a review of questions regarding compliance documents when responding to a city's opportunity. Please note that you will be required to submit some contracting compliance documents with your proposal, and any remaining documents will be required at the time of contract execution should you be selected as a contractor. Regarding the submission of compliance documents, please know that all companies registered on RAMP may complete compliance documents in advance or at the time of responding to a contracting opportunity. All forms may only be completed and submitted by the company's administrator on RAMP under the compliance documents section of your business profile, as shown on the next slide. Each form is only valid for a specified amount of time as indicated. You may refer to the company's compliance documents manual under the RAMP support section for detailed submission instructions. However, please note that these instructions do not apply to bidders or proposers responding to contracting opportunities advertised by the Los Angeles World Airports, the Port of Los Angeles, and the Department of Water and Power. Under the compliance documents section of your business profile, you may upload your disclosure ordinance and equal benefits / first source hiring ordinance affidavits, as well as your Executive Directive 35 compliance information. The submitted forms will be verified by the city's Bureau of Contract Administration, BCA, only if your company is a successful proposer or bidder selected for contract award. Lastly, pursuant to the Executive Directive 35, if a bidder is selected and awarded a contract, and if the contractor is a for-profit company or corporation, the contractor shall, within 30 days of the effective date of the contract and on an annual basis thereafter, i.e. within 30 days of the anniversary of the effective date of the contract, report the following information to the city via RAMP. The contractor and any subcontractor's annual revenue, number of employees, location, industry, race / ethnicity, and gender of the majority owner. The purpose of ED 35 is to collect standardized information from businesses that the city contracts with in order to determine which areas, industries, and type of businesses are faced with barriers to contracting. The data collected is for informational and statistical purposes only and will not be used in the bid / proposal submission. bid evaluation, or awarding process. For specific reporting instructions, please refer to ED 35 compliance procedure on RAMP's support page. Lastly, we would like to offer some additional business resources. Please know that we have conducted a number of informative small business webinars to provide small businesses with resources and guidance on how to do business with the city. Links to the YouTube recordings are available for your use in accessing these past webinars. Included on this slide are links to the various business source centers that provide technical assistance to small businesses throughout the city of Los Angeles. Also included on this slide are other helpful business resources for your reference. Now that completes our presentation for today, and we hope that this information has been helpful in getting you registered on RAMP, as well as answering some commonly asked questions and demonstrating some key functions. Should you require additional information or assistance, please submit your request through our web form, which can be accessed at the address on this slide. You may also wish to follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Just a reminder, this presentation was recorded and you will receive a copy of the recording, the slide deck, and the chat history. Our next monthly RAMP registration webinar is scheduled for Wednesday, January 22nd at 11 a.m. as we will be dark in December. At this time, we do have a few more minutes to verbally respond to a couple of questions from the chat. We also welcome Leah Chu and Liz Diaz to assist in answering some questions. So it looks like we have questions here.
Hi, feel free to unmute and ask your question. I don't want to butcher your name. Is it Kufri?
Yes, my name is Kufre. Thank you so
Gufre.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for a good job. Well done, every one of you. I happen to have a small company that came up. I actually started 2020, but I had to put so many things through until the last 2 years when I was able to complete every requirement to start the business. I have a security company providing arm on an arm security services to wherever need be. And I also provide fire watch for when a hot work is being done. They have to watch to ensure that if the fire outbreak or whatever, then they can put that in control. But I've not been, I've not gotten any job, any contract, maybe we call it account, ever since I paid the insurance, all the insurance needed. They have been running from March this year, and the year is almost running, and I've not been able to pick anything. I tried to access this ramp to get certification, like so I can be able to have access to some of those things if anything comes up. Um, my major experiences came from airport, LAX, Ontario, and Van Nuys, and Long Beach Airport. I worked with my boss in several contracts, but I decided to open my own company to do the same job. So getting access to the airport was hard for me because I have to get some of those certification that will open doors for me, and some of the background finances and some bonding, and they mentioned so many things. So, but now I try to get this certification with the either SBE or MB, but it didn't work out for me at first. I wanted to know if you must have a work history, you must have a contract history before you can get those certification, whether work history or if you prepare a tax with zero income or whatever for the year, and whether those could still qualify you to be certified, get one of the certification that can open door for me.
That was a lot of questions, and I'm gonna apologize if I missed some, and I'm gonna ask you to prompt me again. So I think one of the things that I would kind of try to point your attention towards is the part where you should look at our prior opportunities. I think you mentioned security. So I think I heard security services and fire watch. I'm not
Exactly.
and I'm not familiar with the fire watch, but I'm certainly aware of security services that LAPD does go out to contract for. And I believe that they intend to go out to bid within the next year. But that's their timeline, and I'm not sure when that might go out. So I would highly suggest that if you go on Ramp and you look for security services, actually, I'm gonna look to Grace to kind of help me, because I know you've seen this before. Can you help me find the Ramp ID number for the last time LAPD went out to bid for their security services and share that Ramp ID?
Actually, Leah, I can help with that.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
thank you, Liz.
Sure.
And then in terms of the question about your insurance, I understand that is a heavy cost to carry when you don't have a contract. And so one thing we do tell people is that our insurance requirements are not required until we execute a contract with you. So specifically for insurance, I'm not sure about any other things, right? If it's about meeting the city's insurance requirements when you're already performing the services, you're not required to carry that before you execute a contract with us. And then lastly, I think you had also asked about a number of years of experience beforehand. And I would say that that really depends. So years of service has nothing to do with your certification. Most of the certification that that the city carries, like minority women, those doesn't have quite as much of an impact when you're trying to be the prime contractor. However, are you located within the city or the county?
Yes, I live in
Is your
yes, I live in
in
Los Angeles, yeah, in Inglewood.
is your business also located within the county?
Yes, only in Los
Okay.
Angeles. Yeah.
Okay. And so I would highly recommend that you look into this local business preference program and register because as a certified local business, you would get a 10% preference up to a 12% preference. So there's a lot of questions in between, but being located within the city, if your business was located within the city, we either give you up to a 12% preference from a bid standpoint. And if you were looking at within the context of a request for proposal, you would also get a 12% preference in terms of points that would be awarded to you as somebody who, as the department who's considering your qualifications, they would add on 12% of the points just because you are certified to be located within the city. In terms of the actual question about your work history, it depends. I think that departments can identify based on their needs whether they would say it's a minimum requirement that your business should have been performing the service for 2 years, 3 years, but that depends on the department. And they would identify those requirements within those procurement documentation. I'm going to ask you to repeat any question that I might have missed.
Yeah, I think you've touched a lot of good of those as most important part of it. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then I'll be looking to my team to help me with that other opportunity that I would highly recommend that you look into. It was due most likely 3 or 4 years ago, but it's worth for you looking back at it again because the city goes out to bid every
Right.
3 to 5 years for the same service. So
Right. Do you know,
yeah.
I was looking for the code, Even when I had to print out the forms, I knew that I discovered that I had to print out those forms for the application for the certification. So I printed out those forms. I realized that I needed a code that conformed to the service I'm talking about. I couldn't really get that. I'm still looking for a code that could stand for the security services or maybe the firewatch. I couldn't say if there's any way anybody knows I got that correctly, maybe they can communicate me. I will appreciate that so much.
Are you talking about the NICS code?
Yeah, the code, every job has the code that you must
The NICS
use.
code.
Yeah, maybe it could be. I can't remember exactly. I think every job, every business you are doing has a code,
Okay.
like kind of that you will use. You
Okay.
have to list out those codes to describe the business you are doing. You have to list out those. I think they will use that code to know you or to know what you do or to invite you for bidding or something.
Sure.
And I think what would be helpful is if you look at an old, so for example, I can't seem to, I'm seeing a very old LAPD security guard services, and that ramp ID number is, sorry, then I missed it, is 24193. I'm not sure if Grace and Liz, you've been able to find one that's more recent than this, because this is from 2015. But point being, when you go on ramp and you look up like this old one,
I
24193. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I found one on LA Pop, Leia, but it doesn't show up on ramp. I was trying to get him the ramp number. The ramp ID for the 2020 security guard services is ramp ID number 39176. It was procured back in 2020, but when I enter that number in ramp, it doesn't come up, and neither does the name Security Guard Services for City of Los Angeles. So I don't know why it's not showing up on ramp. It shows up in
So
LA Pop, but doesn't show up
it's,
on ramp.
so I think, so just as a helpful tip, because sometimes departments don't move the status. So when you're on our
Oh,
website, on the status, click on all of them. Amended
Okay.
award bidder, click on all of them, and then look up the number that Liz just shared. It's and
Okay, I'm
then
gonna look at the two.
39176. Yeah.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at bidder selected, so maybe that's why it's not showing up. But it should have shown up as an item that was released, and for some reason I've entered the
Oh,
name and I've
it's
entered.
yeah, it's stuck on, I just clicked on it and it's stuck on bidder selected, and that's probably why we're not seeing it.
So it
Uh,
doesn't show up even if it was released historically? That's
Because when you our search has two main filters that it defaults to.
mm,
And so it defaults to just amended and open. So if on this case, because it's a previously like a bidder selected, then you'd have to click on, you go on status, click on bidder selected for this specific one, so you could see this option.
okay. That's the problem.
Yeah, I will create time to look at it again. So possibly when I drop, we finish this program because I have to push that out. I really appreciate it, Eva. Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome. Yes,
and Leah, I
Grace?
think Calvin had shared the NICS code that
Yes.
he was asking about. It's 561612, sir. That's the so it's 561612 is the NICS code that you were referring to that you needed for your forms. So
And just a reminder also for everybody in this call, the recording for this webinar as well as the chat history will be available to you, so you'd be able to refer back to them if you need. Any other questions?
I see a question in the chat says, do we need to have from Michaela, do we need to have all our required permits active to be able to utilize ramp? No, and I'm not quite sure what permits you're referring to, but you further asked, we're having trouble obtaining these. Is this a service that you provide? So I'm not clear about what permits you're referring to. If you, maybe certifications is what she means, perhaps. Michaela, if you want to unmute and you can ask directly. Okay, I'm not sure if she can hear me.
But just to reiterate what Liz had already shared, you're not required to have your permits active. We don't check on those. But if you are a corporation, we just ask you to share your BTRC. And that's pretty much all we need, but to be able to register. But if you just wanted to also just search on your own, you don't want to register, that's fine too. You could still manually do a search on our website.
I see a question from Ron Havens.
Okay.
I'm a brand new startup. I have many years of my own experience, but no business history for my company and no history of income for my company. How will that affect my chances of getting contracts? Well, it depends on really what you need to do, Mr. Havens, is to review whatever opportunity requirements. So when you're responding to a contracting opportunity, each opportunity will have very specific requirements that you must fulfill. So it depends on what they're requiring at any particular time. So your chances of getting certain contracts might relate to, and I'm not sure the kind of business you do, but if there's any licenses that are required, if it's a technical nature of your business, then that might be something that you need to obtain. Also, some contracting opportunities require a certain number of years performing the type of service that is being procured. So it really depends on what you're pursuing that will either enhance or limit your ability to be selected as a contractor. Leigh, I don't know if you wish to add anything else.
I think I would just recommend, this is why we also recommend that you try to reach out to the contract administrators. To a certain extent, these are some of the things that you can help inform the cities, like contract administrators, and tell them like, hey, you've gone out to bid, you've made a requirement for XYZ, but you know what? I can do this work, but it's just that not as a business on my own, but I've had that experience. Would you be willing to consider XYZ? And I think that's where it's helpful for you to kind of advocate for yourself and talk to contract administrators and see if they would be willing to flex those requirements. Of course, if it's posted already, if the procurement opportunity and all the RFP information has already been posted, any changes in their requirements also needs to be reflected on an amendment RFP. So just wanted to make sure also when you speak to people, make sure that everything kind of ends up being documented in the formal procurement solicitation documents before they're really truly actionable. So hopefully that answers the question. So I'm going to try and go through these questions. Where can I obtain help in applying for an MBE and WBE? Team, do we have resources that's already prepackaged? So if we can have help.
Yeah, we can list
Brian?
the link for that.
Okay.
We have certification assistance available. But there's also the question about a garage that is intended to be used for a training site and
Oh.
community site. Yeah, you would need to be go to the particular departments that could provide you with the permits. A lot of times depending on who you're responding to, if they have facility requirements, you're going to have to respond to the specific requirements. A lot of times they have, for instance, square footage requirements, and so you'd also have to make sure that your garage is actually permitted for the type of use that you're intending. Would they get those from building and safety, Leah?
Yeah, I think that's also kind of why I'm kind of thinking maybe that's why engineering was of no help, because they might not be the ones who do
Yeah.
that permit. But
It's building and safety, I think.
yeah, and Michaela, it might be help if you want us to help look into it, because we don't really know the true answer. Maybe you can email me and we can do some more research, and I can reach out to you when I have a better sense of what kind of who could really help you. So if you could please email me, and that's leah.chu@lacity.org, and tell me what kind of permits you're looking that you're supposed to be trying to get updated, because there's quite a few
It says
permits.
to serve as a community center for at-risk youth. So that's there's not, my sense is that there's not a set permit for that, other than, you know, when you're responding to an opportunity, you'd have to make sure that you have the proper space requirements that they're looking for, and then make sure that you get those permits from building and safety. But as Leah said, you can email us and we can try to troubleshoot that further.
So I'm seeing a chat from Wilson Castillo. I'm an S corporation plumbing contractor. What are the chances for contracting with LA? And is ramp only for LA City or any city inside the county of LA? So right now, for our regional partners, we the biggest ones I can think of is LAUSD, the city, LA City, and also the county. So all of our opportunities are posted on ramp. And I can't speak to chances because there's many opportunities, and I would say it's really up to you in terms of how you want to pursue. You could be a direct prime contractor, and I would say that probably as a direct prime contractor, there might be less opportunities, but you might also want to consider how you could be a subcontractor. Like LAUSD has when we have larger, when they have larger construction projects, they would certainly need subcontractors. And that's when it's helpful to attend pre-bid meetings, because there you'll get a chance to meet the prime contractors, and that way you'll get some face time with people who are looking for subs, and you'd be familiar with what they're looking for.
I think we're good on that. I don't see any other questions.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we like to thank everyone for joining us this morning, and we hope you have a good day and a good holiday next week as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.